Every year, vaccines prevent numerous diseases and save millions of lives. Yet, 1 in 5 infants misses out on basic routine immunizations, and as a result, several children die every year from diseases that can be prevented. High immunization coverage is especially difficult to achieve in rural areas where supply chain inefficiencies slow the rate at which vaccines can be delivered. The World Health Organization estimates that nearly 50% of vaccines are at risk of being wasted globally each year due to supply chain inefficiencies and mismanagement that include poor logistic infrastructure, inefficient cold chain management, and lack of an integrated, easy-to-use technology platform that allows track and trace of vaccines from origin to destination. Hello, everyone. I'm Reggie John, and this is Logistic Tech Dialogues presented by Gale Logistics Solutions. This is our weekly dialogue on innovations and technologies that make logistics move faster and deliver better. Logistic Tech Dialogues is brought to you in partnership with Gale Logistics Solutions, a trusted global logistic IT solutions provider for several Fortune 500 companies worldwide. My guest today is Sid Chakravarthy, founder and CEO of StaTwig. Sid Chakravarthy founded StaTwig in 2016 along with his 4 colleagues. StaTwig is a blockchain startup that uses Internet of Things to record the journey of the products across the supply chain. StaTwig leverages the power of blockchain to transform supply chain. It does by taking all data end-to-end, particularly IoT data, and bring all of those data onto the blockchain. When Sid founded StaTwig, he had no clue that he would one day be in the epicenter of the biggest rollout of vaccines in history. Sid joins me to discuss the progress of StaTwig since its founding in 2016, the launch of its signature product Vaccine Ledger, multiple partnerships with global organizations to roll out blockchain-enabled supply chain visibility platform to track and trace temperature-controlled pharmaceutical products, particularly vaccines, and the road ahead of this UNICEF Innovation Fund portfolio member. Sid, welcome to Logistic Tech Dialogues, and thanks for making time to talk to us.
Thank you, Reggie. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Sid, you founded StaTwig in 2016, as I said in the introduction, as a blockchain startup using Internet of Things to record the journey of products across the supply chain from origin to destination, allowing full visibility, a nearly perfect example of digital supply chain. Tell us about the creation of Vaccine Ledger, your signature product.
The journey actually didn't start with the technology. 2016 was when I moved back to India from US. I was working in Bay Area for large companies, mostly in the emerging technology space, blockchain, IoT. All of these were technologies that I have been working in the Valley for large companies like Cisco. So when I moved back, actually, one of the things that I did is the pharma industry in Hyderabad, where I moved back to when I moved back to India, is one of the Hyderabad is one of the big hubs for pharmaceutical products manufacturing and distribution. So when I got involved with the industry, then that's where I came across the problems around the supply chain visibility, how lack of supply chain visibility is not causing these big manufacturers to not have competitive advantage over new age companies. So, and how the losses are immense, right? So those are some of the problems that I came across back in 2016. And because I had experience with some of these technologies, I could connect the dots between the problem and the solution. So that's where the Vaccine Ledger was born. The premise was, if you can identify every single product in the supply chain and at a unit level, so even a single dose of or a vial of vaccine in the supply chain, now you can record its journey across the supply chain, starting from the manufacturers all the way to the beneficiaries. So now that opens a huge possibility to use that data to bring insights, actionable insights that can truly transform supply chains and make them much more resilient and sustainable. That was the starting point, and we did some pilots, early pilots in rural India. We had a partnership with UC Berkeley's Smart Village initiative. So this was early 2017 is when we started doing pilots. So that work really got noticed, and the largest buyer and distributor of vaccines, which is UNICEF, they noticed it and they funded our company to develop that product. I mean, into a truly large scale enterprise solution. So that's how the vaccine ledger was born.
So, like I said in the introduction, actually, you never thought that you would be in the midst of, as you were about to launch the product, Vaccine Ledger, you would be in the midst of one of the biggest rollout of vaccines around the world. And you have an ambitious target of supporting the flow of close to 1 billion doses, which is about 10 to 15% of the total volume of doses that would be administered in the world, besides the booster shots that could even come. COVID vaccine through your Vaccine Ledger platform by 2023. How rapidly are vaccine manufacturers and distributors like WHO and UNICEF adopting and using your platform?
You're absolutely right. When we started out, I mean, vaccines was so purely industrial product supply chain. So there was not a lot of interest, at least not as much interest that we see today with the vaccines, right, in the mainstream media or in general public. So it was very interesting, and we were kind of in the right place at the right time, I think, because our progress in the space was quite rapid, primarily because, I mean, to begin with, we got funded by UNICEF for product development, which is by itself a great start. So we for fun. So it kind of opened a lot of doors for us, and we were able to quickly develop the product, test it out, and secure some long-term agreements with UNICEF, which really helped us. In terms of yes, the goal, yes. So the 1 billion is also very conservative. We are hoping that if all things work out properly the way they should, we should be able to do more than 1 billion doses a year, actually. So which I'm quite positive. I think by 2023 we will be able to achieve that, because the platform has all the right capabilities, and it has a true value that it brings to all the different stakeholders in the supply chain. So it scales up, and the scalability is quite sustainable, so to speak, and that's what we are banking on. And the work with large organizations is happening really well. So there's multiple countries interested in the solution, and we are actively working in right now in Latin America through IDP. We have built more partners than the UNICEF WHO group. So we have partners such as IDB, Inter-American Development Bank in Latin America. So we have good partners here in India who are scaling us up, and also we're looking for more partners in North Africa. So it's scaling beyond one single channel, and we're quite positive. And a lot of the volume will also come outside COVID-19 vaccines to in terms of regular vaccines, because COVID-19 is still very political. There's a lot of control that's happening when it comes to COVID-19 vaccines. So that would ease up. That would take some time to ease up, right? So it's not going to be easy for new technologies and solutions to be deployed for COVID-19 vaccines. But the rest of the vaccines are struggling. So, I mean, as you said in your introduction, rightly said in your introduction, so we had problems before, right? So 1 out of 5 children were not getting vaccinated, and this was before pandemic. Now imagine what would happen to the number when every health department is focusing only on COVID-19 as a primary focus. So that's there's a huge threat to the other vaccines, and that create a significant impact in that space as well.
Sid, I'll come to your partnership and what is the road ahead for beyond the COVID vaccine, and COVID is going to be there for quite some time.
Yeah.
Want to dwell some time on the technology platform that you have, and it's about visibility, and it's a real-time visibility. And my question is, how real is the real visibility of the COVID vaccine supply chain that you actually have undertaken right now, and how robust is the technology that you have developed supporting this real-time visibility across the value chain, allowing access to multiple stakeholders?
One of the things that we have done is built a very modular and scalable platform, which basically scales as the more stakeholders in the supply chain joins the platform. So it's not necessarily that every single stakeholder in the supply chain is part of the solution from day one, right? So we don't, it's not like we need the freight forwarders, we need the warehouse warehouse companies, we don't need the airports, airlines. So all of these should, there's no need for all of them to be part of the system from day one. So we can still basically, so the way platform works is we identify products uniquely and we capture data at unique touch points in the supply chain. And these touch points can be as granular as every single hand that is touching the product, or it could be as wide as point A to point B, which is from manufacturer to distributor, distributor to retailer, and retailer to consumer, right? So based on that, so because our solution has that flexibility, the data is also in terms of the real-time nature of it is quite dynamic as well. So we have basically the IoT support, which captures real-time data, providing continuous visibility of the product on the move. We have partners who we work with partners. So we don't have our own IoT sensors. We work with partners who have IoT sensors and basically pull data from that system. So our customers have a choice, basically a menu card to choose different sensors from through our platform. So that's one way we provide data, but we more important than the IoT data, which provides just temperature location, we also provide them deep insights into transactions that happen at various points in the supply chain. So things like chain of custody, verifications that happen on product quality, safety at various touch points in the supply chain. Any other issues related to the product in terms of delays, missing items, damages, all of those can be recorded on the software, giving a holistic view both on the quality of the product and the safety of the product, right, across the supply chain.
Sid, I just want to understand at what point in the value chain StaTwig enters. Is it at the manufacturing once? Let me take the example of the vial or the box of vial. I believe you are actually tracking it at a unit level. So I'm talking about one vial which would have like 10 doses. So you would have an IoT device or IoT tag which would be attached to the vial. Is that where you actually start your supply chain visibility and tracking?
Yes, I mean, we track at a vial level, but not using IoT though. So that is not sustainable. It's not feasible at the moment. But we track them using the serial numbers, GTIN numbers that are given to these vials, and how they are packaged in a primary, secondary, and tertiary packaging. So all that is mapped into our software right at the beginning at a manufacturing stage. For a lot of standardized industries, for a non-standardized industries like food and agriculture, we do it at an aggregation point, which is the first aggregation point. Could be a depot or could be a warehouse. So that's where the tagging and tracking starts.
Okay, and which of the current COVID vaccines are tracked and traced on the Vaccine Ledger platform? I believe this. You're really agnostic to what type of vaccine any product could be tracked. And are there any specific regions or countries where the use of your platform is more common than others?
Yeah, a lot of our work is still under progress. I can't really talk about the vaccine names and the companies that we're working with. But in terms of regions, we're seeing I mean, we started doing well in India, but after COVID-19, I mean, the second wave, things started to slow down in India. But we're seeing tremendous traction in Latin America right now through our partners and in the MENA region. So those are in sequence wise. So those are the two regions where we're seeing a lot of traction.
You had an announcement in India having and it's also that you have you had your base in Hyderabad, a major production hub for vaccines. A number of COVID vaccines also are actually produced and manufactured in Hyderabad. You have announced a number of partnership in the recent past. Most of them are for COVID vaccine. Tell us about the partnership with the GMR Hyderabad Air Cargo Division of the Hyderabad Airport, along with Indigo Apollo Logi Solutions. Has that been rolled out? And this is for the domestic distribution of the COVID vaccines.
The idea was to cater it for both domestic and international. So it was kind of keeping both of them in mind. And the progress has been amazing. I mean, we are active in the Hyderabad airport. We have been working with strongly partners like Apollo Logi Solutions. We have scaled up those partnerships to include more logistics companies and much more warehouse capacity. So a lot of work has been happening in the last few months around that, and the progress is immense. So, and the good opportunity that came out of those partnerships is that now we have the infrastructure that goes beyond that can track products beyond just COVID-19 vaccines or vaccines in particular. Now it can be applied to any other pharma product or non-pharma product as well. So all the products that are going through these key touch points in the supply chain. So it's scaling up. I mean, so it's scaling up quite nicely. So we are onboarding more airports. Soon there will be some announcements around that. So where we will be live, and I think what we are building is a excellent global network in terms of creating visibility. So as soon as a product touches one of these touch points, so we will know when it arrived, in what condition it arrived, and what are the things, transactions that took place at that touch point, and when did it leave that touch point. So that gives us a lot of capacity and I mean data to really build the modern supply chains of future.
Sid, you also have a partnership with Tech Mahindra for a global rollout of your vaccine ledger platform.
Yeah.
That partnership allows you access to Tech Mahindra's pharma supply chain customers and clients. Could you give us some more details of this partnership? And has this been already rolled out? And if not, when do you expect to have it started?
We have a very strong relationship with Tech Mahindra, both as a channel partner, as you rightly pointed out, because of their access to very large pharmaceutical companies, but also from a deployment partner who can basically take our solution. We are a small team. We are still a startup. We're consciously keeping ourselves lean so that we stay focused on the product. So we need someone like Tech Mahindra basically to scale the solution on a global stage in multiple geographies with multiple clients and in a very large scale ecosystem. So they bring in a lot of capacity resources from their end. So it's a truly synergetic combination from that point of view. And yeah, I mean, both sides, we are very, very happy with how things are progressing, and we have good big goals for where we in terms of where we can take this solution together.
Sid, everyone expected the COVID to disappear once a vaccine is discovered and vaccine rollout. It seems that it is going to be a long road ahead. COVID is not going to disappear. It's going to be there around. We all of us need to get used to it. But at the same time, how do you take your solution and platform to other critical commodities? I'm specifically talking about temperature controlled pharmaceutical product. And even if you consider vaccines as a variety or as a category, you have hundreds of other vaccines that needs to be administered in different parts of the world. How do you like to respond to shippers' demand for end-to-end visibility for other vaccines other than the COVID vaccines?
Yeah, I mean, supply chains are center stage now, right? So they were never a top priority of a CIO before, right? So it was probably in a list of 20 items, it was in the 18th or 19th thing. But now things have changed. It's in the top five and probably top two or top three right now in a lot of CIO sets. So supply chain visibility and transparency have become I think center stage. So even in the recent quad meeting that happened with between the three leaders, so there was supply chain mentioned at least 4 to 5 times in terms of how they want to prioritize it. So it's both politically, economically, and also I think supply chains have come to a center stage. So that what that means is it would amplify or accelerate solution like ours and others in the industry, right? So there will be faster adoption and there will be I think a lot more innovation that is going to come out of all of this. In terms of us, so yeah, we didn't start with COVID-19 vaccines. We started with other vaccines in mind. So we, I mean, the solution is already built to cater to that need. And also we're starting to work with oncology products and other products within the pharmaceutical segments. So there is a lateral scale that we are looking at, and beyond that, as I said, one of the things that we are building is the supply chain infrastructure, digital infrastructure, which means any product could be a mobile phone or a vaccine, or it could be a diamond going through these touch points where we operate. So we're going to have visibility data about it. So that way we can scale it to multiple other supply chains in the future.
So having funded by UNICEF, that does not restrict you to enter into other critical commodity supply chain solutions that you can create. There are also a lot of the other premium, high yield, expensive products that are actually moving across the supply chain.
No, actually, it doesn't limit us in any way. UNICEF Innovation Fund is an extremely innovative fund. So their focus is only helping the startup scale more and not prevent from them, constrain them in any way, to be honest. So, and that's I think it's vaccines is where we started, and I think is going to be our major traction area for at least next couple of years, and as we scale other areas slowly.
So you already made mention about the supply chain visibility and how it is becoming a center stage, and it is actually at the heart of very high level political deliberations across the world. It's also one of the biggest trends in recent years, and there are several millions of dollars being invested into logistic technology companies that provide solutions that offer visibility and transparency. What are your thoughts on this trend? And do you think this is only the beginning of the big dollars chasing the best ideas and solutions in the supply chain visibility landscape?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, supply chain plays a huge role in a lot of innovation that is happening, even on the consumer side and also enterprise side. So, and there are new business models that are evolving in the supply chain space. So it's no longer cost saving, improving efficiency, which are important, but could sound boring to an investor, right? So at the end of the day, but there are new business models evolving where you're actually driving and generating revenue for different stakeholders. You are creating new products. You're figuring out how a new product can reach end consumer in a new innovative way. So there's a lot of innovation happening in this space, which is what is truly attracting investors. It's not the same old stuff of cost saving or or the improving efficiency, which is fine. But I mean, the decision making, the sales cycles over there is very long. So which is not a good SaaS model, and it like used to push away investors previously. But since the emergence of these new business models, I think a lot of investors are looking at this as a new possibility or new field for generating some unicorns.
Sid, your StaTwig is a UNICEF-funded startup, as I said earlier. What are your future plans, and how do you scale your operations and reach of your platform, not just COVID vaccines, but every vaccines and perhaps other commodities that needs to be traced and tracked to make it effective and reduce wastage in the supply chain. So what are some of your plans? I know you also have Loomis Partners as an investor. Your future plans, how do you want to scale your operations and increase your customer base?
Yeah, we're looking at this from multiple angles, right? From product perspective, we're building this very robust, highly scalable solution which has the capabilities built into it to handle supply chains, much broader supply chains, and in each supply chain provide truly differentiated value to the customers. So that's being done on the product side. On the other side, we're building strategic partnerships. We're building the right channels to scale up. So we're basically getting ourselves surrounded by some of the very, top names in the supply chain industry to mentor us, advise us, and help us scale in different geographies, in different verticals quite rapidly. Those are, I think, two important areas where we are focusing on. We are at the same time also focusing on financially handling this by raising capital at the right time, so that we are not basically putting ourselves in a situation where we are not able to scale, right? So those are like few things that we are doing as a startup to scale. I think so far, I think it's we're going in the right direction. So all the metrics indicate that we're going in the right direction. So we're quite positive about what holds for us in the future.
So do you have already adequate capital already raised, or are you looking at raising more capital? And how big is your team?
We're, as I said, we're quite lean. We're around 23 people right now, the entire company. So, and we have raised capital before, and we are in the middle of a fundraising right now.
Sid, thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you. I'd like to wish you all the very best and wish also your team the very best ahead.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
That was Sid Chakravarthy, founder and CEO of StaTwig. I hope you enjoyed watching this interview. Give us a like and share this video with your friends and colleagues. Also, if you are not a subscriber of our YouTube channel, please do subscribe now and click the bell icon so that you do not miss any of our new videos. Join me next Thursday as I bring you a new guest in a fresh episode of Logistic Tech Dialogues presented by Kale Logistics Solutions. Until next Thursday, take good care and be safe. Thanks for watching.